Pats Nation, the New England Patriots just got some terrible news as they are officially not bringing back cornerbacks coach Mike Pellegrino. Now, Mike Pellegrino, he has been a coach for the Patriots as their cornerbacks coach dating all the way back since 2015. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop there with the bad news because they're also losing safeties coach Brian Belichick, the son of Bill Belichick that has been coaching for the Patriots since 2016. The Patriots are taking a major hit in the secondary, something that again has been a strength for this team for so long. By the way, I can already hear the comment section rolling in. Patriots Global, why are you surrounded with a bunch of Bills memorabilia? You guys know that I've been covering the Senior Bowl over the last week with one of my best friends here in Dan Mitchell. You guys know Dan Mitchell, a Buffalo Bills fan, a Buffalo Bills creator, currently here at his place until I head out with Richie tomorrow to fly back home. So as disgusting as this might be, we're just gonna have to roll with it. When it comes to this overall coaching staff that Vrabel has been building over the last few weeks, I think he's done a really good job. There is now about 4 former head coaches that are now coaching for the New England Patriots in some capacity. I really like the direction that they're going to. I mean, I really like the experience that they're bringing in, but when it comes to somebody like Mike Pellegrino, he was somebody under the last regime, not just with Gerard Mayo, but also with Bill Belichick, that you were hoping that they were going to keep that continuity with, because Mike Pellegrino has gotten the best out of his players no matter what the regime was, no matter where the guy was ultimately drafted. Mike Pellegrino was a big player in the development of somebody like Jonathan Jones, which was an undrafted free agent that the Patriots developed and became their #1 cornerback for multiple seasons. He was one of the best Patriots defenders over the last several years now. Also, another big coach that has been a large part in the development of Christian Gonzalez over the last 2 seasons. You know, you think about J.C. Jackson, his development as an undrafted rookie. The list goes on and on with the amount of cornerbacks that Pellegrino has been able to develop and get the best out of. Now, we don't know exactly why he's not coming back. Did Mike Vrabel say, hey, I have my own guy that I want to bring in? Pellegrino doesn't necessarily fit the culture that we're trying to build. He's not my guy, so we're just not accepting him back. Or did Pellegrino say, there's officially no ties that I am familiar with the New England Patriots, so I'm going to leave and go elsewhere? The big concern when Bill Belichick was ultimately fired from the Patriots last year was that Pellegrino was going to go with him to whatever NFL team he went to. Obviously, Bill Belichick took the year off. He didn't coach at the collegiate level, the NFL level. He just stayed in the media. I wonder if there is a potential role for Pellegrino with Bill Belichick down at UNC, or if Pellegrino just decides to go to another NFL team where he has a little bit more connections. Now, after the news broke about Mike Pellegrino leaving, not too long after, we heard that the New England Patriots were hiring Indianapolis Colts assistant defensive backs coach Justin Hamilton to an unknown role. Now, given the timeline of both of these moves and these reports, I would assume that he's just getting promoted to be the Patriots cornerbacks coach. It's not going to be a lateral move. He's not going to come to New England and also be their assistant cornerbacks coach. And I actually like this move. Now, do I feel as comfortable with it as I did about Pellegrino? Of course not. Like I said, we've seen Pellegrino develop some of the best guys all the way from first-round picks to undrafted free agents. But the Indianapolis Colts, they've been able to develop a lot of guys in that secondary for several years now. Guys who also don't necessarily have the most talent. If you look at that Colts secondary, these aren't first round picks. These aren't all pros. They're guys that they've been able to get the best out of because they put their guys in positions to ultimately succeed. And what I also like about Justin Hamilton is that he has experience coaching more than just cornerbacks. Little bit here about him. From 2011 to 2013, he was a defensive coordinator for Virginia Wise. Then from 2014 to 2016, he was the outside linebackers coach for VMI. Then in 2017, he was the inside linebackers coach for VMI. Then in 2018, went to Virginia Tech to be the director of player development on the defensive side of things. 2019, he was the safeties coach for Virginia Tech, so a guy that is well-rounded, not just experienced with cornerbacks, but also experienced with safeties, which, of course, due to Brian Belichick being fired, Patriots will also need to look for a safeties coach. So having a guy who's well-versed will definitely help with the continuity of the defense, again, especially on the back end of that secondary. Then from 2020 to 2021, he was the defensive coordinator slash safeties coach for Virginia Tech. 2023 for Tennessee, he was the defensive qualities controls coach. And then in 2024, like we mentioned with the Colts, was the assistant defensive backs coach. It's going to be really interesting to see what this new look of the Patriots secondary is, just because I feel like for years now, we've been very comfortable as Patriots fans with always knowing, okay, you know what? We draft a cornerback in the first round, the second, the third. We take a guy as a UDFA. We know that we have a coaching staff that is going to put those players in a position to succeed and ultimately excel past their limitations, to where we always knew that the next guy up in that secondary was going to be good. We never really had to worry. And with Mike Vrabel, I feel like his defense always had pretty good linebackers. They always had really good trenches. And it's not that their secondary was bad, but I never feel like there were any stars. I feel like their secondary never surprised me or necessarily stood out. So it's going to be exciting to see, again, this new era of the Patriots secondary. See if maybe these guys can take some of these different styles that they've had from multiple different coaches now to kind of update their repertoire and learn from multiple different coaches. But it's also kind of scary because, again, Mike Pellegrino and Brian Belichick really set the narrative and put it at a really high note for whatever coach was going to come in after them. Now, as for the Brian Belichick side of things, I don't feel as big about him leaving as I do Pellegrino. I do think that Brian Belichick has been a big piece in the Patriots' development of safeties, which we know are such a big part in this defense. The development of Kyle Duggar, who was a second-round pick. The emergence of Jabril Peppers, who was taken high in the draft, was with multiple different teams, didn't really work out until he got with the New England Patriots, was truly developed like the potential we saw at the collegiate level, and was finally put in a position to succeed. And even this past season with Del Pettis, the undrafted safety, he was somebody who came in and really shined and had one of the best overall defensive grades for safeties, and actually had the best grade for safeties taken in the entire 2024 draft. Now, when it comes to who's going to fill Brian Belichick's role, right now we don't know. Like I said, Justin Hamilton, he's not officially the cornerbacks coach. I do believe that's the direction we are headed, but he also has that safety experience. I do wonder if there could be a world in which he could just be the defensive backs coach, period. He coaches the cornerbacks, he coaches the safety, but nonetheless, we know that Mike Vrabel is building a coaching staff with guys he knows that he believes in, has continuity, and that everybody on the coaching staff, from offense to defense, from special teams, can all mesh really, really well together. So although I don't feel good about both of these guys leaving, it definitely does worry me. We're at least moving in a direction that I trust Mike Vrabel's vision. But this is where I kick it off to you guys. What are your thoughts about Brian Belichick and Mike Pellegrino, both of the Patriots secondary coaches, not coming back? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. We will be back in the studio tomorrow night, finally getting back to the Patriots roots and the Patriots memorabilia. I can't stand all this Bills stuff. Cannot wait. The time is right around the bend, Pats Nation. I appreciate you for watching, though, and go Pats.